So let's talk about what is kind of the secret to getting money in today's confusing real estate market.
Welcome to the Jennifer J. Hammond Podcast. Jennifer is a licensed realtor, educator, speaker, and best-selling author. Jennifer's goal is to help you find your yay in every day.
Hello, it's Jennifer J. Hammond. And I'm so excited, of course. Today we have Harry Malamatos. Did I say it right?
Malamatos.
There you go. That's the way you say it. With Atlas Finance Solutions. And so I'm so excited because we love to talk about money. Money. So let's talk about what is kind of the secret to getting money in today's confusing real estate market.
Well, you're asking a loaded question there, Jennifer. You know, getting money today, especially on the commercial side, there's a lot of things that you have to have. You know, the first thing is land or a building or something commercial, something that people really want to, like I said, there's some kind of a collateral that the lenders can get, if something were to go wrong. Now, with that being said, money is available, whether it's through, if it's with something, like a conventional loan or an SBA loan, or even if the land was already owned, but then they need to do construction on that property, we could do the horizontal, then the vertical. And there's a lot of different terms that we could be throwing out there, but to understand that the money, if there is land involved and or a building involved, gosh, lenders love that because, again, they have something to go, especially in today's banking world, because money is so, there's a lot of people that just aren't sure of what's going on with money. Some of the banks are failing and what have you. And so a lot of these other lenders, and whether they're depository institutions or non-depository institutions, when they lend money, they're a little bit skittish and they're a little bit concerned. So what does it take? It takes to have a good business plan. It takes to have a good piece of property. It takes, have good credit. That's going to be a big thing. And sometimes, obviously, we're going to need some skin in the game, which means down payment. That down payment can be on an SBA loan, can be maybe 10%, and then in the normal world, it could be 20 to 25% down. But the more you have down, the better off you're going to get. You're going to get better terms.
Well, and it's so funny. One of the first things that came to mind as you said that, because it's just the way my mind works, was Mary Poppins. Because I was thinking about the Mary Poppins runs on the banks, and then, oh no, does the bank not have any money? And we've had banks close, which I think the reason I thought of Mary Poppins is because sometimes when you see the banks closing and things changing in such a profound way, it almost incites this fear that's very contagious and people are afraid. And I think anytime you're in fear, you're probably not making the best decisions. And I wanted you to see if you could speak a little bit to that uncertainty and that fear that's in the market right now. Is there stability or is it really unstable?
And there's a lot of the lenders, some of the specialty lenders, sometimes they have what you call put all their eggs in one basket, meaning all of them may have a certain type of loan they provide or they do and what have you. A lot of the smarter banks or lenders are what they're doing. They're diversifying their portfolio of loans, what they offer. And when the type of loans that they offer. And that's what we call appetite in the lending world, right? Now, what appetite does this lender have for real estate? Commercial real estate, equipment, startups, environmental. What is it that they have involved, and or what type of loan they are, and the combination thereof. So if they have too much of one type of loans going out there, they're probably going to tighten up and say, no, we don't have the appetite for that. Then we have to go find another one. And that us as a broker, and that's where we have the advantage over a lot of folks, because if you the borrower to go to one bank and they say no, and then you go to another one, they say no, and then they go to another one and say no, well, you're going to get frustrated. And you're going to throw your arms up and say, I'm done. I'm not going to do this. I don't think now is the time for me to do that. But are there, I should say, lenders out there that will do that type of loan. Well, that's what our job is. We have relationships with multiple lenders. Just on the preferred side, we're a preferred broker for over 48 different lenders. Now, different aspects of lending, not just real estate, but then we have access to hundreds more, that we can research. I'll give you an instance. I had a client recently who was looking for a loan, $5 million through SBA loan, and needed to buy some property, needed to buy some equipment, needed some cash flow to get going and all that. And 5 million is the limit on SBA anyway. And we been working with him. He had gone to several banking institutions and they all turned him down. Well, once we figured it out and figured out what those appetites were of those lenders and also understood their whole story, we then started to reach out further outside of our normal network that we deal with to find specialty lenders or lenders that would look at that based on the fact that we needed to adjust how we spend that money. Real estate, and let's add some real estate and other holdings to this or items to this loan that's going to make them say, yes, now we have some collateral. Now we have a great plan. There was another aspect of it that the lender needed to have liquidity, and liquidity means cash. So that lender that borrower not only needed to have that money, but they had to have it available now, not the fact that they had equity in something, but they had to have that cash available now. So we put this whole package together, and then it took several lenders for us to finally get it figured out to the point where now all of a sudden we have several lenders now wanting to fight for this deal. And
I was just going to say, and that's the secret too. I wanted to talk a little bit about, Atlas, the company itself, because again, to differentiate yourself from other companies, you are not just one company, and that's part of, you kind of highlighted being able to, I used to say the word, I used to say the phrase, I can save you footsteps, meaning time. And this is what I see for you, is that you can save someone an enormous amount of time going from one place to another place to another place. But I can also save you the frustration of rejection, because if I already know that place requires what you just said, like a certain amount of liquid, and you don't have that, let's not even walk in that door. Why go get rejected when you already know that that's one of the things that they need? But as a real estate investor, often you don't know what are all their guidelines, and they don't necessarily tell, I want to say, the retail street person, where as you at Atlas, I want to say kind of the guidelines that are not necessarily public. I'm not going to say secret, but not necessarily public to the buyer, right?
Right, correct. And it all comes down to, and this is one of those things too that we see with lenders. We know whenever we deal with a lender, we know their guidelines ahead of time. So it gives us an opportunity to pre-underwrite the loan before we even submit it. My business partner, Dawn Cannon, she's got almost 30 years of underwriting background. So this is one of the benefits that we have, to where we can actually take and pre-underwrite everything based on those guidelines and submit it to the lender. Now, that does not mean that lender may not change. They may change those guidelines midstream and say, well, all of a sudden, yeah, hey, we submitted it based on your guidelines. Why don't we have an approval? Well, something may come up, or their appetite may have changed right in the middle of that. Or they came up with another reason why they didn't want to move forward with it. And so we could add that to their guideline, but those guidelines they're constantly changing based on the economy, the world economy, the federal economy, the banking world, in terms of where we're at nationally. And it's not necessarily in any one type of bank, because there's some technology banks that have failed that has nothing to do with the real estate, right? But it's still a bank, and they still failed. And the fact that we are, trying to get money for people, that money is flowing between them all, right? And then we are as brokers trying to get money for our borrowers. Sometimes it becomes a challenge.
Well, and you talked about in the beginning about sometimes to get commercial money, they want to know you already have a commercial building, which again feels like we have to have money to get money. And I think I wanted to kind of go a little bit down on a side street. If you can explain, because I think this is also a huge part of the process that most people don't understand. And that's the difference between business credit and their personal credit, and understanding that if you don't build the business credit, there are times when you're going for specific real estate money that it's going to get tougher, right?
Well, true. And this is a lot again, if it's a company that's been established for quite a long time and they've been out there, but they have no business credits established, they're going to want to look at those, your Dun and Bradstreet, your Experian business, your Equifax business. They're going to want to look at that too to see is their business, are they doing well? How are they doing on their business side? And they're also going to look at your personal credit as well. So do they lend on that business credit? No, but it helps them make a decision.
Right.
They are definitely going to consider your personal credit, because again, anybody could just shut down a corporation and say, okay, I'm done. And they walk away. And then next thing there's no personal backing to that loan. So the lender lost. A lot of times the lenders will want to have that personal guarantee. Now, that being said, business credit is important throughout. We also provide software and consulting on that aspect to where we help clients build their business credit. Can we loan money solely on their EIN number? Probably not. Are there some lenders that will do that? Probably. But here's the idea behind it, and I talked to several lenders on that. When they look at your personal credit and they look at your business credit, they're going to compare to see how well you are set up, right? Depending on the length of business. Now, if you're a newbie, if you don't even have your company started up, that's considered a startup, whole different animal.
Yeah. Right.
But when they're looking at the two different ones and they can't unsee one or the other. Let's say you have great business credit, but your personal credit really stinks. They can't unsee that personal credit, or vice versa. You have bad business credit, but I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying,
right?
One or the other. They can't unsee those things, and so we encourage clients to get them both up there to where take stress off of your social security number, separate your EIN from your social. Don't buy everything under your personal credit. Do it through your EIN number. And we can talk more about that, Jennifer. Maybe that'd be another session we could talk about. But for right now, that is an important thing that a lot of folks don't think about. And they think they may have a business credit card because it has their business name on the card. And they think that's solely on their EIN number. Really, it's not. It's on your social. It's really on your social. Yeah.
And that's again, we should do a follow-up where we just talk about, business credit versus personal credit. I just want to bring it up. And also, to what you said, I think is such a big highlight, is that it's not the absolute, the only or the be all, because it is an entire picture that different financial institutions are looking for. So it's not just one thing, it's the whole picture. When you're looking at, any kind, whether it's a commercial building, I want to say a hotel, or even, you want to buy a multifamily, a 10-unit building, or any of those things. There's so many different aspects to that. So, and also, like you just said, you need to know it's always changing. So you need an expert who can really help you and keep you informed on what you need to know for whatever you're looking at this time. And so getting to know somebody like you is going to be really critical to moving forward. So I want to make sure that people know how to get a hold of you. Anything you want to share, your website, social media?
Sure. Our website is atlasfinancesolutions.com. Real simple. In fact, you can probably see it behind me there, Atlas Finance Solutions, and then put .com at the end, and you're right into our website. Our website tells us a lot of what we can do. My telephone number is 727-420-0048. And my email is harry@atlasfinancesolutions.com.
Perfect. Well, and as you know, I love to end every single one of the podcasts lifting your voice and saying yay. So I'm going to ask you to lift your voice and say yay with me as we go off the air. Okay?
Okay. All right, here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Yay!
Thank you.